Welcome to Philosophy Decoded, where we explore timeless wisdom for modern life. Let's decode today's philosophy. You think you know yourself. You know your name, your job, your preferences, your opinions. You can list your strengths and weaknesses. You understand your personality. You are self-aware, or so you think. Now imagine discovering that everything you think you know about yourself is built on unexamined assumptions. That most of your beliefs were absorbed from others without question. That your values might not actually be yours. That the person you think you are is largely a story you tell yourself. This realization is uncomfortable. It is also the beginning of wisdom. Today we explore the ancient question that launched Western philosophy. Know thyself. We will see what Socrates actually meant, why self-knowledge matters more than any other knowledge, and how to achieve it. The phrase, know thyself, was inscribed on the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, one of the most sacred sites in ancient Greece. People traveled to consult the oracle, seeking prophecies. But before entering, they had to pass this inscription. Know thyself. The message was clear. Before seeking knowledge about the future, first understand yourself. The oracle made a famous pronouncement about Socrates. A friend asked who the wisest person in Athens was. The oracle answered, Socrates. When Socrates heard this, he was puzzled. He did not consider himself wise. He claimed to know nothing. So he set out to prove the oracle wrong by finding someone wiser. Socrates questioned people with reputations for wisdom. Politicians, poets, craftsmen, teachers. He asked about their expertise. What is justice? What is courage? In every case, he found the same pattern. These supposedly wise people could not clearly define or defend their beliefs. They thought they knew, but when pressed, their knowledge collapsed. Socrates realized what the oracle meant. He was wisest not because he possessed knowledge, but because he alone knew that he did not know. Everyone else walked around confident while being fundamentally ignorant. Socrates recognized his own ignorance. This recognition was the beginning of wisdom. This became the Socratic Method. Socrates would approach someone claiming expertise and ask questions. What do you mean? Can you give an example? Does this apply in all cases? Through careful questioning, he would reveal contradictions and gaps. The goal was to demonstrate that what they thought they knew, they did not actually know. Most people react badly to having their ignorance exposed. Socrates made powerful enemies by showing that politicians did not understand justice, that religious leaders did not understand piety, that teachers did not understand virtue. Eventually these enemies accused him of corrupting the youth and disrespecting the gods. At age 70, Socrates was sentenced to death. He could have fled but chose to accept the sentence, drinking hemlock while discussing philosophy until the end. Why does self-knowledge matter? Because everything else you think you know is filtered through your understanding of yourself. If you do not understand your own biases, assumptions, desires, and limitations, you cannot trust your judgments. You are like someone measuring the world with a bent ruler. The measurements will all be wrong. Consider how most people form beliefs. You absorb ideas from parents, teachers, peers, culture. You rarely question whether these ideas are true or serve you well. You build your identity around unexamined beliefs. Then you defend them as if they were truly yours, when you never chose them. You are living according to someone else's program. Socrates challenged people to examine their beliefs. Why do you believe that? How do you know it is true? What evidence supports it? Most people cannot answer these questions. They believe what they believe because that is what they have always believed. This is not knowledge. This is inherited opinion mistaken for truth. Self-knowledge also means understanding your motivations. Why do you do what you do? You might think you know. You want success, happiness, love, security. But dig deeper. Why do you want success? What would it give you? Keep asking why. Often your stated goals are means to something else, and that something else is also a means to something deeper still. Socrates believed no one does wrong willingly. If someone truly understood what was good, they would pursue it. When people do harmful things, it is because they are confused. They mistake pleasure for happiness, wealth for security, power for respect. They have not examined what they truly value. The Socratic method for self-knowledge involves constant questioning. Do not accept your own thoughts uncritically. When you have a strong opinion, ask why. When you feel a strong emotion, ask what belief is creating it. When you want something, ask why and whether getting it would make you better off. This is uncomfortable work. It is easier to live on autopilot, following inherited beliefs and unexamined desires. Self-examination requires admitting you might be wrong about things you were certain of. Most people avoid this discomfort. Socrates compared himself to a gadfly that annoys horses into action. Athens was like a sluggish horse that needed stirring up. Self-knowledge requires the same persistent prodding. You have to be your own gadfly. One practical application is examining contradictions in your behavior. You say you value health but eat poorly. You claim to care about relationships but spend little time with loved ones. You believe in honesty but engage in small deceptions. These contradictions reveal that what you say you value and what you actually value are different. Your actions reveal your real values. Another application is questioning your certainty. Notice when you are absolutely sure about something. That certainty is a red flag. Why are you so sure? What would it take to change your mind? If nothing could change your mind, you are dealing with dogma, not knowledge. True self-knowledge includes knowing the limits of your knowledge. Self-knowledge also involves understanding your emotional patterns. When do you get angry? What triggers anxiety? When do you feel confident or insecure? These patterns reveal underlying beliefs and fears that drive behavior. Once you see them clearly, you can choose whether to continue following them. The Socratic approach contrasts with modern self-help. Modern approaches often focus on positive affirmations and building confidence. Socrates would consider this backwards. Confidence without knowledge is dangerous. Better to recognize your ignorance first, then build actual understanding. Socrates distinguished between cleverness and wisdom. Many people are clever. They rationalize desires, find sophisticated arguments for what they already want to believe. This is not wisdom. Wisdom means understanding what is truly worth pursuing and having the courage to pursue it even when it conflicts with what is easy or popular. The examined life, according to Socrates, is the only life worth living. An unexamined life is sleepwalking. You follow programs written by others. You pursue goals without understanding why. You hold beliefs without knowing if they are true. You are a passenger, not the driver. The alternative is to wake up, to question everything, to examine your beliefs, values, motivations, assumptions, to admit what you do not know, to change your mind when presented with better arguments, to live deliberately rather than automatically. This is difficult. It is also the path to wisdom. What can you take from Socrates today? Start with one belief you hold strongly. Ask, how do I know this is true? What evidence supports it? Can I clearly explain this? Be honest. If you cannot defend it, why hold it? Do the same with your goals. What do you want? Why? What would having it give you? Keep asking why. You might discover your stated want is actually a proxy for something else you could pursue more directly. Examine contradictions between what you say you value and how you spend time and energy. Your calendar and bank account reveal real priorities more accurately than stated values. If there is a gap, which is the truth? Practice intellectual humility. Notice when you are certain. Ask, what would it take to change my mind? Am I willing to change my mind if presented with better arguments? If not, you are clinging to belief rather than pursuing truth. The inscription at Delphi is commanding you to examine the instrument you use to understand everything, your own mind. If that instrument is flawed, biased, or poorly calibrated, all your other knowledge is suspect. Self-knowledge is not the end goal. It is the foundation that makes all other knowledge possible. Socrates spent his life asking questions and admitting his ignorance. For this, Athens killed him. But his method survived and became the foundation of Western philosophy. The questions he asked remain relevant. We are still walking around confident in beliefs we have never examined, pursuing goals we do not understand, living lives we have not chosen. The examined life remains rare. It also remains the only life worth living. Next time on Philosophy Decoded, we explore one of philosophy's most powerful images. You are living in a shadow world. Everything you think is real is actually just a projection. Plato's cave reveals why most people never see true reality and what happens when someone finally escapes. We discover what this ancient allegory means for understanding truth today. Do not miss it. And that's the wisdom behind it. If this helped you think deeper, subscribe for weekly explorations of philosophy and meaning. Thanks for watching.